see you now.
Yep, we see at the top of the screen. At least
All right, good deal. Okay.
there. All right, now you're there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just make sure. Am I still there?
Yep, you're still there. Yep.
Okay, now I gotta figure out here.
Stephanie's joined.
Yep.
This is really something. Okay, so let me see. I can share my screen again. Okay, let me make sure I know where I got the chat and everything. All right, and there's Stephanie. Stephanie?
No, I'm not talking to you.
Okay, well, I unmuted her too. Okay, so let me see. So when you guys see the screen right now, do you see the eating healthy on a budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and do you see all the little slides on the left side, or is it coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to just figure out how I don't lose. All right, that works. Okay, so now do you see it without the slides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's get started. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for coming. And so just today we're going to talk about eating healthy on a budget and try to make it as applicable to right now as we can. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yep.
All right. So the objectives today are to recognize and explain the My Plate and tips for a healthy diet, discuss meal planning and shopping lists when grocery shopping, and identify ways to save money using coupons, store ads, and price comparisons. And then so hopefully you'll develop some tips before, during, and after grocery shopping that's going to save you a bunch of money. That's my goal anyway, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
So we have a poll question here. And so what I want to do is
Ow. I'm watching.
I'm going to give you a poll thing, and if you can click on what answer you would choose, we're going to, yeah, we'll see how you do on that one, okay?
Okay.
So if I were to give you $1,800, what would you do? And so if you could just click on one of those answers then.
Buy more answers.
Just give you a second here. You guys would all save it. Okay. Well, that's 100% with there. And so it looks like, can you guys see the results there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Well, okay, thank you very much. So the thing I guess I'm trying to drive home is that we throw away, as Americans, $1,800 worth of food every year. So if I could help you save a little bit of that, that would be great. So that's a family of 4. So, you know, if you're a family of 2, that would be still $900 that, in theory, throwing away every year. And so that's one out of, it's 25% of what we buy. And so that would be kind of like going into Walmart and you buy 4 boxes of cereal, and then on the way out you throw one of them in the garbage. It's kind of like what that equates down to. So I guess what I'm hoping also just out of this presentation is that maybe I can help you figure out so that you just have a little bit less waste, and maybe that will be one key way that you didn't even think about that would save you some money. So, all right, thanks. Okay, so why should we eat healthy? So just as you guys might know, the biggest things in Polk County, it's heart disease, cancer, chronic lower respiratory disease, and stroke. That's the 4 main reasons that we donate. And so just the idea is to, you know, however we eat better and stuff like that, that can help really reduce those chances of dying then. And so, yeah, so that's why I'm going to talk to you about healthy things that you could buy at the store and for less money. Okay, so here's the My Plate. So do you guys remember, I'm going to do it with my motions, not that you can see me, but we used to learn about the My Pyramid when we were in school, but now they teach the My Plate. And so what it is, they're trying to give the down home message is, people were having trouble figuring out what to put on their plate. And so this helps them figure out the portion. So have you guys all seen this?
Yes.
Yeah, so the idea would be to get half your plate fruits and vegetables. So just more foods come from plants then. So if you guys can just tell me, since we're a smaller group, and good morning, Dolores. So just if you guys would tell me just what are some foods that come from plants?
Fruit and vegetables.
Yep. What else?
Grains?
Grains, yeah, definitely. They do. What else?
Well, nuts and seeds.
Yeah, you guys are good. There's and what was the last one?
She said nuts and seeds.
And
then-
beans.
Yeah.
Seeds? Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, look at you guys almost wiped them out. So beans would be another one, and then just that choosing the liquid oils instead of solid fats.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so seafoods and other lean meats. So just healthy challenge out of these two. Then which one would you say would be a healthier option?
The one on the left?
Okay, you say one on the left, Jack. Does anyone
Yeah.
else have an answer?
I'd say the one that says 100% juice. I don't know. I don't ever drink Snapple, so I don't know about that.
Okay, so you're right. You would want to look at the nutrition label and see what's actually in that. But right now, just by looking at that, I would actually say the 100% juice, just because when we are getting the juice versus the fruit, better to have the fruit when you can. You get more fiber and more nutrients. But if you are choosing juice, making sure to choose 100% juice. And sometimes we end up accidentally getting things like juice drinks, which can just be sugar, water, flavoring. So really having to look at the label then is what we'd have to do. Okay, so which one do you guys think is a leaner option there, the better one?
The fish?
Yeah, so the fish, the one on the left then. And then if you were to choose the one on the right, which one would you say would be better?
The leaner piece of meat.
Yeah, the one on the far right there, and you can tell it's leaner because it has less of that white marbling, and so that white is the part that's hard for your heart, hard on your heart. Okay, so yeah, so lean protein for sure. And then if you can tell on this one, which one would you say?
I mean, the regular is longer, right?
I don't know. Oh, are the wings breaded? Maybe the baked.
Yes. All right. Well, yeah, they have the skin on there too, and breaded.
I don't know. They're probably about the same to me.
I think she meant that want the chicken. These are terrible pictures.
You'll have to send me some better ones. I agree. Okay, so the one on the right would be the leaner option, but what shouldn't you eat then?
Vegetables?
Or what shouldn't you have if you have the chicken?
What?
The mashed potatoes?
What's wrong?
Or the
Or
potato
the
balls?
skin?
I know.
Yeah.
I guess I was
Skin.
looking for the skin.
Skin?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then so just you'd want to choose the baked, and so just
You're fine.
just because the skin is a big portion
I
of the
thank
chicken
you.
wings,
I thank you. Don't act like I didn't see you.
that can be good. So I'm going to try here. Let's see here.
Chicken,
All right. Okay, so then the bottom line then is how can we eat healthy, to find those healthy foods and then also save money.
Oh, were you stuck?
And so
Fine.
let's see here. Here's what I'll do just for you guys, if it's okay. I'm going to mute you all, and then if you see on the bottom there's a chat option. You all see the chat option?
Back.
Mhm.
So just if you have anything you'd like to say, I'll make sure to try to watch that. So if you have a question or an answer, then you can just type it in. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll do that. All right. Okay. And I have the chat up. So if you have something, just please let me know. Okay. So the idea would be to plan, shop, and save. So that's our goal here when we're going to the store. Just think plan, shop, and save. So planning might not sound fun, but it's going to save you a lot of money. So the idea would be to know your budget and then start planning your meals. So what do you have on hand that you really need to use? And that would be one of the key things for saving money then, especially now, lady was telling me, she was going to the grocery store and there's that, the shortage on toilet paper, and she was, getting a ton then because just she knew, it was way lower. There's only a couple brands that even had any left. And so her husband's like, do we really need this? We have a lot at the store, even or at our house, even if we have to go this entire year, we're still going to be okay. And so she was, remembering that. And so just trying to think about what you have on hand that maybe you can use up. And then, this is definitely a different situation. But just, stocking up on the things, trying to be realistic about it. What would you need to use first, and maybe getting some things that are more shelf stable. If any of you get the Ledger, I have an article, apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but I guess it's in the Ledger today, just on some shelf stable things that you can buy to keep you out of the store. So maybe you guys can try to find that. But just looking at, those fridge and cupboards first, and, especially on times when we're in normal times, checking the fridge. What do you have to use, and then what's on sale, and then planning to use leftovers and making a list. So checking out these weekly ads, bringing coupons, newspaper ads, apps sometimes can help you. And then you might have heard the tip, don't go when you're hungry, and, make sure to have a snack beforehand. I don't know if anybody's walked into Publix when they're making the bread, or into Walmart if they have a Subway and they are baking, but it's hard when you're hungry, because then you also tend to want sugary things and things higher in carbohydrates just to give you that quick energy. And so you're going to grab those more when you're at the store. So just, that's can be really important, actually. And so you guys, give you a chance to read that, but. So just bringing the list, then it will really help you. The odds of going to the store, coming out with just a loaf of bread, it's like 3 billion to 1. So you have to keep that list and stick to it. One of my friends, she's really trying to save money. She started doing online shopping. Okay, so that would be one way, because she has this list in front of her. She's not tempted by all this other stuff. So planning your meals, it saves you time and money. And, then you can keep in mind days that you're busier and you need to cook in larger batches and freeze. But just planning your meals for the week will save you a ton. And so sometimes, it can be daunting, but it also help you every day because you'll know what you're having that night. And can anybody write in the chat box, does anybody plan their meals right now? Like for the week, they really try to look and just kind of make a plan, Monday's spaghetti day, something like that. Anybody do that? Okay. I don't know if you guys all left or just nobody does that, but just one thing that could, she does, Dolores does. Okay. So yeah, just really, okay. That's helpful. So Robin was saying she does it about 50% of the time. And, it just, sometimes people are kind of overwhelmed by planning too, but it really then, you'll prevent less food waste, and you'll also make less trips to the store, so that it saves you gas money also. So it can be a good option. And some people are kind of overwhelmed by it, but if you think about it, we have the same thing almost every day for breakfast and lunch, most days. Or you could have leftovers for lunch. But just some people do it by like Monday's Italian night, Fridays we usually have pizza. Thursdays, if we do Italian night and we use meat on Monday, using leftover meat on maybe Tuesday for tacos or something like that. So you see how you can do that, but it saves you time and money. And then, you can plan your meals for the week based on what you have in hand. So you'd open up your fridge, check. And then if you have, chicken and stuff you need to use up, those would be, maybe if Monday's Italian night, you're having that, chicken strips with tomato sauce on some pasta or on some zucchini noodles. And so just maybe trying to make sure to use up what's in your fridge first. Okay. Okay. So Robin says she does it, she picks up food depending on her mood. So if I could get you cooking more at home, Robin, that would be my goal, because it can save money. Yeah, and can help you eat better. You can choose healthier options at the when you go to the restaurants, but sometimes it's very tempting. So, okay, so preventing food waste. So just what we were talking about, if you see the thing on the side, making chicken once and enjoying it multiple ways. So like you have grilled chicken one night, and then you have chicken tacos and Southwest chicken broccoli casserole, then chicken salad sandwiches or soup. And so freezing leftovers or using them in recipes like soups or casseroles can be great. And just using different sauces, maybe you're having Asian chicken the first night, but then you have Italian chicken the next night. And then, chicken salad after that. But only buy the amount of food, you can store and use before it spoils. So some people say that, with milk, it might be the better option, but that the bigger version, but if you don't drink it all, then it's not gonna save you any money. So okay, so budget friendly meal tips. So using less meat or substitute other protein sources like beans. And so beans are one of my favorite things. They fall into 3 categories. Does anyone want to type in the chat box what categories, what food groups you think beans fall into? They fall into 3 different ones. They cover 3. They're the only food that does it. So if anyone could, on the bottom, if you see the little chat option, you can click on that. And then if you want to type in what food groups you think it's in. Anybody has an answer? Yes, protein is definitely one. Vegetables another one. What's the third one you guys think? Yeah, so lentils would be actually the protein. Good. So there's one more food group it covers on the plate. Starch, you're right. It's actually a carbohydrate too. So not only does it give you energy like carbohydrates do, it gives us protein, and then it's also considered vegetables. So they're really inexpensive. So that would be one way you could save money, is just by using beans half the time in your meat. And so if you think about it, anytime that you would use any sort of ground beef, usually there's a bean that could go well or disguise in with that. So thinking like tacos, maybe instead of using all a pound of ground beef, you use half pound and a half pound black beans or pinto beans. Same things with chili, is just reducing the amount of meat and then using beans. That'll save you a lot of money. And then cutting down on expensive, ready-to-eat, salty sweet snacks. And these can be just like mines for your money, because you don't get nutrients from those. Sodas would be the big, and candies, there's nothing in those other than sugar. But just other things too, they don't have a lot of nutrients, and you end up spending some money on there. So if you could avoid that aisle, except for the popcorn's a whole grain, you're good to go. Just watch the butter. And then limit pre-made meals and fast foods when you can, to save money. Water is another one. Just if you can use a reusable water bottle, that can save you a ton of money, and refrigerate it if that helps you, so you could drink it cold, and avoid expensive energy drinks, soda, stop cooking, all that stuff. So inexpensive lean proteins, I would say the 3 big ones are on the top: the beans, the eggs, peanut butter. Eggs they have quite a shelf life, so those can be very helpful, especially in times like this. And beans, the dry beans, they're ready to just for you to soak them and cook up whenever you're ready. And so peanut butter, also any sort of nut butters, sometimes we forget about it, but when we were growing up, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, still love those. So that would give you some protein and also be a quick and a healthy way. And if you need to do that some night, it's a really good trying. If you want to try a recipe, peanut butter French toast. So what you do then is you'd make kind of like, all you do is egg and milk, mix that together with a little bit of vanilla, and you dip your whole wheat, right, bread in there, and then you can put peanut butter and jelly on it. Just make it a sandwich. It's kind of a delicious night meal. And then Greek yogurt, buying it in the bigger portions, bigger tubs, and then spooning it out yourself will save you some money. And then canned tuna, salmon, don't forget about those things, very healthy for you. And then buying the whole chicken versus the pieces can also help save you money. Okay, so does anybody shop at Aldi, or has anybody been to Aldi? You want to just write in that chat box there if you go there sometimes. Not too much, you don't. And I guess sometimes they have some different options, but here, okay, yeah, there's not one really quite by me. I live in Lakeland, and it's on the wrong side, but just this is what they put out in their flyer one week. And so you know how I'm trying to harp on you guys to plan your meals. It's like they're doing it right for you. They want you to buy all of their stuff, but it is really smart, just giving people an option. So I would say, maybe if you could follow this for maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then skip Wednesday, and do some of those leftovers that you have Monday and Tuesday and make them into other things, if that makes sense. So that's that. So then making the list then, so you kind of figured out what you need for that week. You're looking at your week ahead, you're going to be busy, have leftovers one week. And then, maybe Robin might go out, maybe I'll let her go out maybe Wednesday and Friday to start or something, but she knows those are her busy days, and so she'll pick up something. But if like just looking at the meat then, and you can buy more if it's on sale, freeze it then in the individual portions. Some people cook it up so it's ready to go, but really just trying to freeze it in those individual portions so that when you do need it, then it's just ready for you. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but if I have like a big pound of meat in the freezer, just then you have to thaw it and then divide it out if you're not going to use it all. So just trying to do that right away can help you guys. And then substituting with a different protein like beans, which are less costly, and remembering always to look and see what you already have. So maybe I'm trying to tell you guys to eat a bunch of beans, but you have a ton in your pantry already, so then maybe that's not the best option. All right. Okay, so at the store then, comparing prices, buying store brands, that's another big one. Many of you guys might do that one. Checking the unit price, store rewards, looking at those things and making sure the prices ring up correctly. That's one of the things about self-checkout, is that you can kind of watch it a little bit better. Sometimes they're so quick that you're just, I just want to pay and make sure the next person can get in line. But just really sometimes they ring up, $1 or $2 extra, and if you can catch it, then you won't have to, go to customer service or anything like that, but it can save you money. And then investing in those staple foods, like when they're on sale. So I don't know if you guys notice, but sometimes in holidays and things like that, around Thanksgiving, they'll have green beans on sale and stuff. And that would be the time, to get them in the cans, and so that you have them on hand when you need them. And then, so I have another quick poll question for you guys. So just, I wanted to ask you, do you currently use unit pricing at the store? So if you can see that, and if you want to just click on one of the answers, I would love it. Give me just a second longer here. All right. All right, so it's looking right. Looks like, if you guys can see it there, some of you guys use it and some of you don't. And so this can be a really, really great tool. So I'll just kind of get back to my slides here. Okay, so unit pricing then, just like, okay, so what it is, if you haven't used it very much, it would be the price divided by the amount the size of the item. So it's the cost divided by quantity. So if you're looking at something, so this is an example of Cheerios, but say, you know, they're 15 ounce box, you see it, and it's cost $3.95. You know that the 12 ounce box is probably going to cost less because there's a smaller amount. But sometimes it's hard to figure out, you know, should it cost less than that? What it does, you know, it's hard to compare those two when they're not, when you know one's going to cost less, but should it cost more, you know, a different, should it cost, yeah, which one's a better deal is what I'm trying to get at. So you want to look at the unit price. So that is that, you see right there, it's next to, it's always next to the regular price. But if you can try to choose the smaller option, that will save you some money in the store. And one of my favorite places to do this is not only coffee, because there are a ton of different sizes of coffee, and maybe you know the coffee that you like, but sometimes you can just look at the unit price and you can tell, you know, which one's the better deal, because you'd want to look at the unit price that's the lowest. So looking at things of different sizes, this can help, or different brands. And it's also very helpful in the lettuce. Like if you ever buy bagged lettuce or head lettuce, just looking at the unit price, it is amazing the difference, you know, because sometimes they come in those plastic tubs and it's kind of hard to tell, you know, you look like you're getting more, but, you know, checking the ounces and then comparing to the bags, sometimes the bags are cheaper and sometimes the big plastic thing is cheaper. So making sure to look at the unit price there. So it's the price divided by the amount of it. And so you can always do it yourself too, just with your calculator or phone then, by taking the $3.95 divided by 15, and then you'll get how many cents per ounce it is. And so, you know, one thing I just talked about briefly with the lettuce, but that would be another thing just mentioning, just to make sure to, you know, when you can, usually the whole form without it being cut up is a lot cheaper. So, you know, getting the whole head of lettuce versus just it bagged and ready for you, and same with carrots too. So I'll show you one of those. Okay, so here, just look at the prices below, or the sizes below, you know, which one, if you want to write in the chat box, which do you guys think would be like the cheaper option there? The better choice. So Dolores is saying the gallon. Gallon. Yeah, so you guys are right, actually. And the thing is then just to remember too, you know, maybe if you can't use the whole gallon, that would be one thing to keep in mind. But if you divide those out then, 128 ounces divided by $4.29 and 32 ounces divided by $2.69, you get that unit price. And that's what I have up there, that cents per ounce. So then you can just look at all those. So you know that 0.0 is always lower than a 0.1. And so then you see that 0.03. And so that one would be definitely the cheapest option. And then the one in the middle, and then the other one is way more expensive then. So just, you know, that can help you kind of gauge, you know, do I want that one on the left that much more? And maybe you do. And so, you know, just, but, you know, just sometimes it's nice to know. So then which one do you guys think better buy here? That's funny. It doesn't even have the answer on that screen. You see it there? So it'd be the one on the right then, right? Because it's the lower. Yeah, it's 0.26. You guys got it. So just looking at that can really, really help. And you know, it might be really obvious, you know, usually the big one, okay, tend to be, you know, less price, but I have gone into Walmart and I was looking at the broccoli, and, you know, sometimes I do these presentations, so it's always fresh on my mind just to make sure to look at the unit price. And so I was buying the, you know, I eat a lot of broccoli frozen. So I was going to buy the 2-pound bag, and I was picking it up, and the 2-pound bag had a higher unit price than the 1-pound bag. And it was only by a couple of cents. I was just thinking, you know, that's crazy. So I ended up buying 2 of the 1-pound bags. And so just, you know, just look at it. Sometimes it can really help you, save you some money. Okay, and then here we have, I took these pictures at Publix, and so just looking at the unit price there, you can kind of see it on the carrots, depending on what you get. Hope you guys can all see it. So the shredded ones are way higher than the baby cut or the other one. And those baby cut carrots, those are the organic ones. So just think about, the not organic would be even lower probably. And then if you look to the right bottom, it would be only 10.56 cents per ounce. And that's for the 1 pound bag. If you just, if you want to just go the Bugs Bunny route and just eat them like that, you can just wash them, and they'll be ready for you to have. So these are just a couple of myths. Canned foods don't count towards dietary. Definitely work. Frozen and canned foods, highly processed. Usually they actually go straight from the field to the can, and so frozen, they're not usually highly processed. Canned either. It's the only thing they do. Sometimes they'll cut them, but just treat them. I used to work with Del Monte, and it's just a very streamlined process. So you do have to watch for the extra sauces and salt. So if you're buying canned things with salt, if you rinse them, you can reduce the salt by up to 40%. So that's not just draining, just taking it out and rinsing them, but 40%. So that can really help save on that. And I would recommend too, if you buy canned fruit, to drain it and rinse it just to get rid of any extra sugar. And so I would argue that sometimes they can be more nutritious than the ones sitting out. If a store doesn't have a lot of turnover, those strawberries just sit there. They're deteriorating every day with your nutrition. So just really trying to, I guess, remember that and know that, the strawberries that are frozen, they're like, people are picking them and they're going straight to the freezer. So, the nutrients, they're there. And so just watching to make sure they're not filled with preservatives. So this can be good, especially for hurricanes times, or say you guys don't want to go to the store at all right now. You're just like, which would be, I guess, the less contact with people, right? And so just, stocking up, you can have this whole healthy plate with just things that are in cans. And so that's an option. And so true or false, what do you guys think? Should you only walk around the perimeter of the store? Would that be the best option? If you guys want to write in that chat what you think there. Give you a couple of minutes, couple seconds, I guess. Okay, so I would say you guys are actually both right. No, because we need, yes. Okay, so you guys are getting it. So definitely, it can help because all those things in the middle, a lot of them, like, there's that chips aisle, there's that cookie aisle, there's the soda aisle. You could skip all that. And, if you did, you could, end up with that fresh foods, the meats, the dairy, usually on the sides. And so I can see how you could say that, but you're missing out then on a lot of these really good for you things that just happen to be in the middle. And so that would be like the brown rices, the other whole grains, like, and then beans too, one of my favorite things, right? So just they're in the middle then. So I guess picking the aisles can be key. Yeah, so, and then watching that checkout aisle that has candies when you can, they're really tempting. I don't know if you've been next to people in Walmart or other grocery stores, especially when you're with kids, that's not the aisle you want to be standing in for a long period of time. So the other things, saving money by chopping it, washing it yourself. So if you can chop those carrots yourself and eat them, that will save you money buying them whole. If you can buy the 2 pound bag, usually it saves you over the 1 pound bag. So just prepping them right when you get home sometimes might help you, or the celery, prepping it right away. I know my mom, she said she loves celery, but if it's not washed and ready, it just sits there. So just trying to remember those things, and then knowing, what things are you going to actually chop yourself? And, if you're not going to chop those carrots, then just buy the baby ones, because I'd rather that you eat them. Because if you have to throw them away, then that's definitely not going to save you money. So, and then avoiding the extra large, if you're not going to use it anyway. So that can help a lot. Okay. So, and then after buying the food, just to prevent the food, like, keep it the longest lasting it can be, 2-hour rule. And if you're in a car, if you have to take your stuff home, especially in Florida here, I'm from Minnesota, sometimes you can just keep things in your trunk overnight, it's so cold outside. But, just here, if it gets over 90 degrees, it's 1 hour is what they recommend for food safety. So, if you have a cooler that you can pack in your car if you're going to the store, that can be good. And then using older items first, and then watching the dates too, because use by, sell by, and best by, those are just ones the food manufacturer puts on there. So that can be very important. Like if a granola bar says use by this, it's just the food manufacturer saying that we guarantee that the taste is going to be 100% at this day. And, so maybe they could have said it like a week later, it's not bad right after that. And so that's just their absolute guarantee then. Okay. And so the same with the other 2 dates. The only one we really, really have to worry about would be baby formula. That is one you don't you wouldn't want to use after the date, just because it's the nutrients, just we need the exact amount that's in the formula. Okay. So after buying the food, then just what we were talking about, freezing the bulk meats. It's really funny because you guys, just this morning, I threw in a big thing of bulk meats, and I'm just, every time I say this now, I'm like, why did I not portion it out? Prepare small sizes for snacks then. Keeping in mind, which foods are older, and try to use those first so that they don't go to waste. Like if the fruits, try to use the oldest ones first, and then, or you can always freeze fruit for smoothies and things like that. You don't have to cook it or anything to freeze it. You just stick it right in the freezer, and then it can be ready for you for breads or on top of those French toast that I was talking about. Those kind of things just can be very useful. Okay, so here's just a money comparison. We're almost done here, so bear with me. But just, making smart choices on the left side, and then not so smart. Sometimes you might just crave that, those things that are on the right side there. But just, knowing then you could do it a little bit healthier. And then for day to day, if you could make those smarter choices, you could eat for less and still have a healthy meal, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to just see if I can unmute everybody. And then I just want to ask, and if you would want to type it in the chat box, or if you have any questions, I would love to answer it. And then the other thing that I have before you get off is I'm going to email you as soon as we get off this call an evaluation. And I just, this is actually the first time I've done this class online, but you guys would help me so much in telling me what was, better, or just, if there's parts where it was hard to keep your attention, that would be good. I wasn't even, because I need to work on those things then. And also if you learn anything, I would just want to know. And there's only a few questions, so if you could fill it out, I would be very grateful. So I'll send that to you guys after this. But does anybody have any questions or anything that they would like to add?
MPH,
I really thank you all for coming
RDN,
today.
and LDN. Oh.
What did you say? Pardon? I heard something. You say LDN? Maybe.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a sweet tooth. So what are some healthy choices to get that nice, craving of sugar?
Okay, so I guess what would be the really, really obvious one that you would think I would say?
Fruit.
Okay, so you're looking beyond that, right?
I don't know, because my tendency is to go to ice cream and cookies and stuff like that. That isn't bad for you. I'm 50 pounds overweight, so it's, that's the result, which, I do want to get healthier, but I literally physically have cravings for sweet stuff. So
Oh, okay. So two things I would say there. I'll give you some options, and then just the other thing I want to say would be that it's really nice that we have found with our taste buds that we can learn to like less sweet things. It's the hardest part is going from when you are craving it to like not, to decreasing it, because but once you can decrease it and do it for like a little bit, you don't tend to crave things as much anymore. It's really funny. So it's like if I could get you, just kind of off of it for a little bit, you tend to crave it less, and
Yeah.
things don't have to be as sweet for you to appreciate. So
I've done that with salt.
Okay,
I
yes,
used to salt everything, so I agree, you're right about that, but I haven't been able to kick the sugar yet.
Okay, so I definitely know a lot of people we're in this category. So one thing I found a lot of other people seem to like also is the banana ice cream. So if you have a food processor or even a blender will work. So taking bananas, they don't have to be overripe or anything, but just cutting them up and putting them in the freezer, and then taking them out after they've been frozen, adding a dash of milk, and then maybe vanilla or cocoa powder or peanut butter or whatever you want, whatever kind of ice cream you want. But it
And
is
whipped
really
cream on
quite
top?
good. What did you say?
Green.
And top it with whipped cream?
Green.
Right, right, of course, yes. Whipped cream and then sprinkles, and okay, like that fudge sauce. Okay, so just yeah, so those kind of things, and then also there are some really fun recipes out there. I wish. Okay, so when I do a class like in person again, hopefully, God willing, you guys will all have to come and we'll have to do one. I have a really good recipe for like a 3-ingredient brownie. It's a sweet potatoes, I think peanut butter, and then it has, I think, God, I can't remember what the other thing is. It's like key, right? But it's just basically, just trying to get the sweet craving, those kind of ways too. But sprinkling things like cocoa powder into different things might just help, just even into like some Greek yogurt and things like that. Could be good.
Andrea,
And
do
we
you
do
have,
know that the dark chocolate would be a better option. So
Yeah.
dark chocolate, if you're gonna go that way, and just the smaller size would be key, right? Each per day. You're not gonna, by having the big bar every day is not gonna help. Does anybody else have any other ideas that they found works for them to kill the sweet tooth? Fruits, I would say, and I gotta say one other great one is just taking an apple or a pear, or things like that, and just cutting it up and microwaving it and putting a little bit of cinnamon on it and things like that, or a sprinkle of like oatmeal. Those type of things can be really good, kind of give you that crisp, like warm feeling, but has a sweeter flavor too, especially when they're cooked like that. Does anybody else have any ideas they want to give her?
Andrea, do you have these recipes on your website?
Not on my website, I don't, but when I send the evaluation, I could send a couple. Do you have any particular types of, I could send you guys if you were interested. There's a recipe that I often do with my class. Hey, thanks, Dolores. If you want to type in anything, let me know. There's a recipe I usually do with this class, and it's like a very easy recipe. I can do it just in front of everybody, just really quick. And it's a really good one for the family if you want to eat better for less. And so I can send that recipe with you. And if you want, then maybe I could send one sweet recipe also that I sometimes use. Would those be helpful? Or
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay. I'll make a note to do that. I'll send banana ice cream.
Yeah. Maybe the 0-calorie Cool Whip would work.
You can go there. They use just how I'm talking about beans, or strawberries dipped in dark chocolate. Yes, there we go. At least you get some fruit and dark chocolate.
I love that.
She had a good one. Dolores did. I was gonna say I don't know. Has anybody heard of aquafaba?
No.
So that's just one thing some people use as a meringue. It's a vegetarian vegan option. So you know how when you have canned beans, there's kind of that that extra stuff that comes off, it's kind of like, you know, it has a little bean liquid in there, and it's not just straight water.
That I
So
pour down the sink.
yeah, yep. And if you want to rinse the sodium, you would pour it down. But some people, you could save that actually. And if you take a mixer, a hand mixer, and you beat that, it becomes like a fluffy meringue. So
Right.
there's so many possibilities out there, right? Who knew, right? That, and also people, you can make a cashew whip also. So there's just many options, but yeah. Or just maybe a very small amount of Cool Whip, the normal kind. At least you got the banana ice cream underneath there. All right. Just to be a little cognizant, does anybody else? Oh, okay. So she just says, yeah, it doesn't care for beans, and I keep talking about them the entire presentation. But yes, you could definitely use tofu to stretch the ground beef. And another one that people use a lot, if you aren't big on beans, would be to use mushrooms. Would be awesome. I just went to a conference and they had mushroom sloppy joes. They didn't use any meat, but they often promote like a 50-50 blend, just even in like burgers and stuff like that, because not only do they give them moisture, but it has that same texture. You know, once you just chop them up, you know, don't leave them whole, but chop them up and then cook them, right? And then you can just add them with whatever ground beef you would use in tacos, and they obviously use that sloppy joe then with hamburgers, spaghetti sauce, things like that. If you chop them fine, you know, people, you know, it has that same chewy kind of texture as the meat, and it takes on the flavor of the sauce. So just like your tofu there, that's a great way to stretch the ground beef option. And then if you ever have vegetarians come over, you'll be ready to go, because you'll just subtract all the ground beef and just use the other option. And so those can be great fillers, they say. Does anybody else have any other questions, comments?
Oh,
You guys have been great. Thank you all for taking the time to join. I really appreciate it a lot.
Thank
thanks,
you.
Andrea.
Thank you.
Thanks. I hope you guys have a good day and stay well and
Yeah.
safe, okay?
Okay,
too.
same to you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.